conventional explosives like TNT, RDX, HMX, there's a tag, a chemical tag. So when the explosive goes off, the tag survives. And they say, oh, this has got some, this tag in it. Tagant is the term they formally use. And now we can determine where this explosive was purchased, and blah, we catch the guy. But with thermite, there are no tags. Very clever stuff.
Isaac, for example, has more recently said, I know 9/11 was an inside job. The police know it's an inside job, and the firemen know it too. But you have not heard this on the nightly news.
This feat of bringing a building straight down onto its own footprint requires such skill that only a handful of demolition companies in the world will attempt it. Well, what the heck? Just put a few random fires in there, maybe some damage, and you saw the towers, they just fall straight down. And you better patent that one real quick before somebody else thinks about it. Just some random fires in the building, hey, it'll come straight down, it's great. Quit paying these companies all this money.
We heard the noise associated with an implosion.
We heard a very loud blast, an explosion. We looked up, and the building literally began to collapse before us.
We heard a loud explosion, and at that point, Building 2 was collapsing.
At that point, we heard a large boom. I looked up and just saw the building coming at us.
Do you know if it was an explosion or if it was a building collapse?
To me, it sounded like an explosion.
There was another major explosion. The building itself, literally the top of it came down.
What? And he looked at me and asked me, was that a bomb? And I said, I don't know. I went outside. It was like a gust of wind that knocked me over. There was something, the windows blew out. And there was a loud explosion and the elevator dropped. And when the elevator dropped, was a lot of debris and cables falling on top of the elevator. And when the elevator finally stopped, they had an explosion that bring the doors inside the elevator, and I'm sure that was broke my leg.
The impact of the explosion, of whatever happened, it threw me to the floor, and that's when everything started happening. And then all of a sudden, it happened all over again. I just know something else hit us to the floor. Right in the basement, you felt it. Walls were caving in, everything that was going on. You just knew it was something big. I mean, I know of people that got killed in the basement. I know of people that got broken legs in the basement. People that got reconstructive surgery because the walls hit them in the face.
those 4 jetliners took off that morning, that they were then ordered down into a military facility,
Possibly.
that 2 other jetliners painted to look like United or American Airlines went back out, reassumed the American 11 and United 175 flight paths, and hit the Twin Towers.
Basically, yeah.
Could be a drone aircraft. That's an aircraft that's guided electronically to its target without having a pilot.
It was a military plane.
And it didn't look like a commercial jet.
It wasn't a commercial airline. No, that second wasn't no commercial. No, second definitely. No emblems, no logos.
It was great, to be honest with you.
I thought it was a fighter jet coming in to cover the city.
No, it was a black plane. It looked like a fighter jet.
It looked like a fighter jet.
The U.S. government ventured to point fingers at me, accuse me of involvement. The U.S. government has consistently blamed me for being behind every occasion its enemies attack it. I would like to assure the world that I did not plan the recent attacks, which seems to have been planned by people for personal reasons.